Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. We had a lot of deliveries today, and we have a lot of fun stuff to get in the car. As you can see behind me, I stacked some of the stuff over there by the car. That's where the new wiring for the air compressors and solenoids for the air control battery in the back. So we have to run that now. So we're not overloading the little. I think they were 12 gauge wires that were in there originally. So we have some nice new. Is that six? I think it's 4 gauge. I don't remember off the top of my head. Should say on here. Does not. Um, just says high power cable, high current, high power cable. It looks like four. So I'm gonna go with four. Let's see what the connectors that came with it say. If they have anything on there. No. Well, there's a stamp, kind of. You just can't read it on that one. This says 8. So, no, those are 8 millimeter posts. So I think it's 4 gauge that we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna have some fun with an extremely rare part. This has been something I've been looking for weeks now. I don't know why this is in my back pocket. I do know why. I was clearing out all the old boxes and stuff. So this car is going to have two alternators. We have one that's dedicated to the batteries on this side of the car, and then the alternator that's going on the other side of the engine is going to run the batteries, take care of the batteries on that side of the car. We have battery isolators on both sides so that it won't run down or overcharge or anything like that. They're completely separate, but we can use both. Um, the hardest part was finding one that worked with a long water pump that would clear the power steering. Now, on a lot of these cars, a lot of race cars, they delete power steering or they delete air conditioning or they relocate alternators on the low side. What we wanted was a high side up by the cylinder head, up by the valve cover to go where, like where the current alternator is. Now, ICT makes a really great bracket, but it doesn't work with our setup and what we need to do. So if you have a power steering pump, a Saginaw power steering pump, like most small block Chevys do, then you have to run a different belt setup, and it's a little confusing. And it works with the long water pump, but it's not going to work for this situation. So I looked. There's only one other place. I did a ton of research on this. There's only one other place that makes a second high mount alternator bracket for small block Chevys with a long water pump. Almost everything is water pump. Almost everything. So I found this at Speedway, and I won't show you how much it cost. You don't want to know. Oh shit, I don't care. It doesn't phase me. There's the bill. Uh, Total cost 163.20. So that's 137 bucks, 15.54 in shipping, and $10.67 in tax, even though they are in a completely different state. So much for that trick. So this comes from a place called Bill's Hot Rod Shop, and I'm sorry that's backwards. Bill's Hot Rod Company, and they are exclusively through Speedway. I haven't been able to find them anywhere else. I guess you can get them direct from them as well. But these are the installation instructions. Side mount long water pump alternator bracket. So I will need a 1/4 inch Allen and a 5/16 Allen. And it says GM alternator standard size Delco 10 SI internal regulator type, which is what we have, used on 1970 to 1989 GM products. So we have all of the parts here to do that. There's some nice black and white pictures on the back. So we'll try and follow their instructions. And folks, RTFM, please. I know everyone hates it. You guys hate it. And they're like, no, 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 I know what the hell I'm doing. Da, 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 da. Just at least go over it and read it. There might be a hint in there or a note from someone saying, hey, you know, don't forget to do this. Or if you want it to go faster or better, try this. So this is kind of what it's going to look like when it's completed. Now I have another alternator on this side. So it won't be all super chromy like that, but it'll look pretty similar. And here's the bracket. And they offer it in 3 different setups. You can get it raw, so you can go get it powder coated yourself if you want to do, or chromed or whatever. You can do it however you want. They offer it in black powder coat, which is actually, it's a very nice powder coating. Not too thick, but it's definitely going to do the job. It'll protect everything. And then they offered in polished chrome, which is actually very, very nice. It's very pretty. So these 2 guys mount to the cylinder head, and then your alternator mounts here, and this is your adjustability. So this is how you adjust it, and then it locks down right here. And they included a bunch of extra washers. I'm not quite sure. There's a ton of extra washers and nuts. So I think you can adjust this bracket this way. I think. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's the project for tonight. Hopefully you guys are kind of into this. I'll grab a light and I'll get you guys, I'll wheel you over and you can sort of see what I'm working on here. And it still smells like paint in here of all the truck bed liner from the other yesterday and all the primer from the day before that. And it all came out really nice, came out really great. I used 3 cans of TBL. So the whole tub inside is all TBL'd and all protected from water now, which is a very good thing. And don't forget, this is brought to you by Rockstar. Woo! I don't know what number this is today. I haven't been keeping track. And I saw the prosthodontist today. He's very happy with all of the surgery progress. See the oral surgeon tomorrow. We're doing a huge scan of my lower skull and jaw. He wants to check to make sure the cyst is filling in. So we're all on schedule. I start on finals in 2 weeks. We start fitting the finals and they're going to be great. I should be completely done by the end of February, top of March, something like that. Pretty excited about that. Let's get some light in here. And this one says he's fully charged. So let's do that. And I'll bring you guys over. Spin you around. Get you down in the engine bay here. So we can actually, instead of tilting you down, what if we just lower you a little bit? There we go. That's a little bit better. And then we can tilt you down a little better. That's a little better angle, I think. There we go. Okay. So this is our Blueprint 383 stroker engine. It is fantastic. It was worth every penny. It was about $6,500. I went up to Summit, picked it up the same day. It literally started second turn of the key. And we're still on the break-in miles on this. Probably have, I don't know, 25, 30 miles on it. And it's a fantastic engine. 455 horsepower, 485 foot-pounds of torque. Awesome. Obviously a new radiator. The old radiator was questionable at best. This is a nice new dual-core aluminum radiator. And we have a TH400 transmission. out of a 10-second Nova. So what we need to do is, you can see we have the first alternator over here. We're gonna have our second alternator over here, and it's got to clear this hose and other stuff. So he's gonna sit kind of out here in this direction, and that's fine because I need him to clear the headers, the steering rack, and the cable is gonna go up and go to the firewall on the back side over there. So if the cable will come up here with the temp sensor cable, and it'll follow the same line that did. So let's we need to get the power steering loose and make sure he slides out of the way. And he's a 9/16. No, it's 5/8. Slide him fully out of the way, I think. We can also go the other way with him. So let's test fit this bracket. Let me grab the bracket quick and the instructions. Also, the other thing I ordered today was some new grill stuff, original Cadillac grills that I'm going to put together as one Cadillac grill. And then I also got a hood ornament, a new Cadillac hood ornament. So this guy bolts in using those two, and he will be very close to the power steering. So here's where those washers come into play. Because we need to make sure we have enough room to access the power steering bracket. So this nut will come off. These three go on the cylinder head. These three, 1, 2, and 3. This guy stays here. This PVC, this is just a piece of PVC pipe, so I'm not quite sure. Let's take a look at, whoa, he is top heavy, at the instructions. And I don't know what these bolts are for down here. Those are interesting. They might be for a different type of bracket. So let's see. Remove the nut, plastic sleeves, and tape from the bolts. Please do not disassemble the bracket. Install the bracket to the head and snug up the bolts. Remove the white spacer and the bolt the alternator in place. Keep the 1 3/8 inch spacer behind the alternator. Okay. Swing the adjusting arm over and hook the C brace to the alternator bolt at the top. Okay. Bolt the top of the C brace to the alternator shown. Install the belt and tension. Tighten all the bolts, recheck tension and alignment. Okay. So this is very straightforward. There's nothing too crazy about it. We need our Allen wrenches. And he said a 5/16 and a 1/4 inch, correct? Oh, and they even give you the belt size suggestions here, which is great. That's very nice. Side mount long water pump. 1/4 inch Allen and a 5/16. So 1/4 inch. I believe this is my 1/4 inch. Nope, this is my 1/4 inch. I think. Nope. Where the hell's my 1/4 inch? There we go. Okay. 5/16 and 1/4 inch. I'm not sure what the 1/4 inch is for, but we shall find out. So let's get this nut off of here, which is one thing they don't talk about. It's also a 9/16. This is a very nice piece, especially for less than 150 bucks, right? Okay, so nut is off. I'm gonna get these plastic protective caps off, along with the tape. Well, it's just protective masking tape. It's not very heavy duty, although it's heavy duty enough to make me struggle. Okay. Ah, of course there's some left on. Of course. All right. I'm gonna have to pull this guy out and get this tape off. So you stay up there. You go right there. All right. And just for grins, trust but verify. That is exactly what I thought. These are a different thread pitch. I can't even get past the first damn bolt. There's no way. There's no way. All right, hang on. I'm gonna check it with the. Oh yeah. Let's see. Nope. Those guys thread right in. These are from the ICT kit. Just checking all of these. And these all thread right in. So keep that guy handy. These guys are a completely different thread pitch. So they do not thread into there. So we can't even install it because we don't have the right hardware. This thing has fought me every single nut and bolt. And when I say that, I am not kidding. Every single nut and bolt, this car fights me. And the weirdest part about all of this is that this is a small block Chevy. They've made literally over 100 million of these. Now, Blueprint obviously makes their own, but it's all to Chevy spec. There's nothing outlandish about any of this. This is not a super stock build. This is not a F1 build. This is not a hypercar one-off. This is a small block Chevy. And I can't get parts that are, I mean, Jesus Christ. Side mount, long water pump, alternator bracket information. All bracket hardware is pre-assembled in the proper location. Alternator bracket designed for small block Chevy using late style heads, including the Vortex/1970 and later. Absolutely useless. So I need different hardware, and we can't install this. And I don't know if I'm going to go get different hardware or if they're going to refund me or how we're going to do this. But I think the simple thing to do is get hardware, send them a receipt, and they can send me a check. This is insane. I noticed it when I took this nut off. I saw the wide threads, and I knew there was going to be some kind of weirdness here. And I have located that weirdness. So just when you think everything is going smoothly, it doesn't. And I'm going to tape this thread back up again. Actually, let's get some numbers on these, just so when we call them tomorrow, we can have actual numbers. So yeah, I'll come back here and give you guys the wide shot. Now that we're completely screwed, we can't do this install. God, that's so frustrating. One thing every shop should have, and you'll see these at hardware stores, they're usually mounted up on the wall, but get one of these. It is a thread checker, and it has inch and metric, and it has most of the sizes that you're going to use. That you can get different ones that have huge, and I got this one because it's portable, so I can take it and I can go check something over here or check something over here. These are really, really, really great. Highly, highly recommended. They're not very expensive. So 3/8/16, which is a very common thread size. That's what these are. These are 3/8/16. These guys are going to be 3/8/24. And I will put guess on that. I'd be wrong. These guys say 3/8/16 too. Well, that can't be right. Well, how the hell do these thread in and then they don't thread in? What the hell? Is it something in the head? It can't be something in the head. So these guys thread right in. Without any kind of issue. And those guys do not thread in. The threads aren't jacked up or anything. Damn, they're just really tight at the top. Okay. Let's try this again. See? That's how it saves you a bunch of time. All right. So put this guy back together. Maybe. Okay. Come on. I didn't put you on that tight. Oh. All right, let's try this again. I just hate forcing stuff, you know? Especially on an engine that I paid a lot of money for. Ah. All right, all that tape came off without having to disassemble. All right. So these three guys are gonna This will be a little weird at first, but oh, I'll bring you guys back over here so you can see. We'll give this a try. These are just really, really tight in here. Not exactly how I like to feel things thread in. So get this first one lined up. Get our second one lined up, and we have our power steering return hose in the way again. Okay, that guy's starting to thread in. This guy is also starting to thread in. So I'm going to change over to a ratchet just for quick and easy. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. Yeah, they thread in. It's just really tight. All right. It's really tight. Oh, who's here? Hey, man. Yeah. Yeah, those thread checkers are, you can find them on Amazon. They're not very expensive. There's a bunch of different kinds. I just like that one because it's really portable. If you're underneath a car or, in a trunk or something, and you're trying to find out the thread size or pitch. I work on a lot of Dodge vehicles, and they switch it up. Some of it is metric, some of it is inch. So you never know what you're going to get. Okay. These are just really, these bolts are very, very tight. The thread on them is extremely tight. So give that a little more snugness. Oh, he's catching on the return hose down here. There we go. Okay. So our alternator will go here, and that's fine. We actually have tons of room over here. And we can slide him back further, which is cool. So if we want to loosen that, we can. So get him snugged up here. The other thing is the threads on the head are actually very tight too. Wow. Okay. Oh, this is our 1/4 inch. So we'll take our thread protector off of this guy. Sorry, you guys. I thought for sure this was a different size thread. They look totally different. I think the thread that the bolts that come with this are definitely from a different manufacturer. They're much tighter tolerance, tighter threads than the ICT billet ones. I got more tape here. This guy. And can't really get the tape off while he's in there. So you take that bolt out. What else? Yeah, yeah, they probably do. And then you have to get different heads because that bolt no longer fits with that. And you're like, what? But we got to figure it out. No big deal. Okay. So that guy goes to our alternator. Let's take a look at our instructions again. Snug up the bolts, remove the white spacer, and bolt the alternator in its place. Okay. So this guy has to come out. Set that bolt to the side. And this is just a piece of PVC pipe. So we will get our alternator. Trying to remember which one is our good one. Is the not good one. But I think this is our good one. And did this kind of weird because I have the spacer in my other hand. The bolt is still there. The alternators are not light. There we go. And folks, please start these by hand. Please, please, please. And our other one comes up here. And that's what we need our smaller wrench for. 1/4 inch. Whoa. Okay. So leave him just kind of wiggly for now. Snug him up down here. Okay. Now we can move this guy forward. Now, is that guy supposed to hook under there? Not quite sure how he goes. Swing the adjusting arm over and hook the C brace to the alternator bolt. Yeah. Bolt the top of the C brace to the alternator as shown. Okay. I don't know what this lower section is for. He's not touching the alternator. So now we can loosen this guy. And there we go. Oh yeah, he goes all the way down. He can almost touch the water pump. So now comes the fun part. So he stays kind of snugged up there. We need to get, wow. We need to move the alternator bracket out, probably almost all of those washers. And then we cannot run. I'll have to get There will have to be another belt. This will have to be a triple for this, for the water pump pulley. I need one per. And it's going to be very close. Very close to that belt or to this hose. So yeah, if I just do him flat like that, he's about an inch away from that hose. So the good news is if we need to, we can go down by getting a little longer belt. But he's going to have to go to the inside of this. So all of these guys are going to have to go out a little bit, which is fine. And the only question is, oh boy, is that thing in the way of the power steering pump getting tightened? I don't know why it won't let me tighten it. Yeah. Okay. This one is not going to work because you can't tighten your power steering. This is so impossible. And I swear, working on a Judd V10 would be so much easier because any parts that are made for it absolutely positively 2000% fit. But on here, small block Chevy. Now, if I pull this guy out and somehow get that spacer out, whoa, don't drop it. Now I can okay. Shit. All right. So what happens is the flared edge here runs into that. I don't think not with no. Yeah. So you're not going to be able to run this. This is going to have to go back. You guys can see this. That bolt hits the cap direct power steering pump. That is not adjustable. There's no other way to God, everything is a struggle with this. Oh, more comments. What do we got here? All right, man. Have fun. Have a good night. Let me see if I can figure this out. So if I get a shorter power steering belt, that will help. But right now, this does not work. Is the adjusting arm that's normal? All right, well, this, I mean, that belt would have to be 3 inches shorter, at least. Um, that is very disappointing. I had a bad feeling about this when I ordered it, but I didn't think it would be. I didn't think it would be like this. I just every time I'm every time I'm ordering parts for this, I always have like a little twitch because it says it works on every small block, and there's a million small blocks, and then you read the reviews because you got to read the reviews, otherwise you're gonna get screwed. I read the reviews. Everybody bolts right up and we're great. Thanks for sending so quick. It's everything. It's literally every single one. So, damn it, damn it, damn it. So I would have to get a very, very short power steering pump pulley, um, power steering pump belt, and I don't know the size on this. Um, he's a 43, 15430, 15430. And what are their recommendations? 75, 45, 75, 50. So, come on, back on there. So, since I have to do a new pulley anyway, I'll take a look at belts and see if I can't get one that's, I mean, it would have to be stupid short for this to actually fit in here and to tension up because the power steering pump would have to go back that far and it would have to be super tight. And then you can only come back, set this guy in place. It does not work. There's no way. The ICT mount doesn't go far enough forward and this guy doesn't clear. So, I mean, if I used the 2 bolts, I would probably be okay because the tensioner is on this top one. If this one required the tensioner, I would be screwed. But it does not work. Even what is the problem here? Why is he not tensioned? There he goes. So I guess we send this to Bill's. Doesn't matter where this arm is. The main bracket is not fitting. And this is what I was talking about earlier. They make all this stuff for guys who delete power steering. Huh. There's no other mount points. There's only the 3 mount points on the head. So really the only other way to do this would be to do a bracket. Now this is where it gets weird. Okay, so now this can go here. Now if we loosen this guy, Okay. So now, okay, he does not fit under there, I don't think. Is he just supposed to? I guess he's just supposed to tap that, touch that. Not quite sure. So if he goes, yeah, the only way to do this would be to have another bolt. We have, it's so weird. You have these three down here that literally go to nothing. I don't know what those are for. You could bolt it right here and call it done. Just do a single. You probably wouldn't want an Allen head. You would probably want a low profile X head, and that would at least get this bracket mounted to the head. And then if you wanted to, depending on where this guy goes, this guy just continually gets in the way no matter where you put that second bracket. You would have to do, yeah, you would have to do it on the lower section here. So this is where we're stuck right now. This sucks. I was really hopeful. I was really, really hopeful on this, you guys. I got to think about this for a second because it is disappointing. What's wrong drawer? Really disappointing. I thought I had found gold, and I did not. Hmm. Oh, shit. I don't know what it is, man. This thing just does not want to get built. It doesn't. Jesus. I don't know what the deal is with this. And then it makes you wonder, like, did I put the power steering, pump in upside down or the bracket backwards or, you know, did I do something backwards? And I haven't. I haven't done any. All of this is very, very standard small block Chevy stuff. None of this is top secret or Gale Banks tested or anything like that. This is all OEM or, works on a million others. God. Yeah, there's no way to do this. Not without not without heavily modifying something. Damn it. And actually, I think this is the bad alternator. I think the other one is the good alternator. This is the Wilson, and I think I checked this one out and it wasn't good. But it works just fine. Of course, in the instructions, they, all have billet pulleys and all of this stuff. So they do not have a power steering pump in there. And there's nothing in here that says, hey, don't use a power steering pump. No, nothing. Nope, doesn't say anything about it. Doesn't say, hey, don't use a power steering pump. So we'll make a call to Speedway tomorrow. Send them an email with some pictures, and we'll find out what they want to do. Um, this can work if I go get a 3/8/16 bolt and put it in there, but I don't have that third support section for the bracket, and there's honestly there's no place for it. Even if I drilled a hole back here and back here, the flange on the power steering box is not going to um, it's not going to clear it. So if the bracket, well, I don't know because if I come down, this guy stays. I mean, if I'm tensioning him here, yeah, maybe right here, maybe at the very top. That would be very tight, but maybe at the very top of this flat face. But then you would have a difficult time getting the power steering cap off. You're gonna have a difficult time. Well, no, still is okay right here. Just yeah, that's fine. Damn it! I thought for sure this was the solution. I thought for sure. It's really weird. Is this stuff not like lining up? Like it says, it's for the long water pump, but I mean, it actually goes to the inside of this pulley and to the inside here. And just looking at it lining up, it honestly doesn't look like it lines up. The the drawings aren't really helpful because or the pictures because they show it. We show the front face of it. The thing that I don't understand is they have low valve cover and tall valve cover belt size, but it's nowhere near the valve covers. What the hell does that have to do with it? I mean, even with the alternator all the way forward, it doesn't touch the. Well, I guess no, it's not going to touch the valve cover. So I don't know where they're getting that from, where that where that issue comes from. So I don't know. I don't know anymore with this. It is literally a crapshoot every single time. When it says it works for the small block Chevy, I I have about 2% faith that it actually will work in this car. Maybe 3%. Finding stuff it's amazing, man. I had no clue. All the small block Chevy stuff I've worked on before, it's literally it's like Legos. You just pick it on, put it on, and it works. Pick another part. Oh, works with small block Chevy. Bling, it works right away. Everything, everything is a struggle with this. Hmm. All right, I got to think about this. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You guys are gonna hang here. Hang here for a second. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I will be right back. All right. We're back. Well, I'm back. I say we. It's just a, I don't know, kind of a figure of speech sort of thing. Um, I'll move you guys back a little bit. Kind of, we're kind of stuck with hearing back from Bill's Hot Rod Company and from Speedway on a solution for this. So I'm guessing that they've never seen this before. That's just, again, a total guess. But we'll try to get it sorted out and see if we can come up with a good solution. Excuse me. I'm burping from the rock star. There's got to be a way to do this. I can't be the only ding dong who's tried to run two alternators on a small block Chevy. I mean, a lot of people do it. The other option would be to run a alternator off of the drive shaft back by the diff. And that's a really kind of a solid way to do that. The problem is your alternator is running kind of full blast, but only when you're moving the car. So the car has to be moving in order to charge that battery. And with this car, it's going to be stationary a lot of the time. So that doesn't really work for a setup like this. If you have a race car, it works quite well because you're moving it a lot. So I wanted to have it engine driven, uh, alternator, so we could just kind of idle the car and uh, it would provide power to everything for the audio, video, for the lights, for the hot tub, for the engine itself, for the air system, all of that. So that's kind of a bummer, but there's got to be a solution for this. This is, I mean, so incredibly close to actually working correctly. Um, if we can get this solved, then I mean, I can get this solved. I'm just going to find out the best way to do it, and I'll talk to both of those folks and find out. I'll take a bunch of pictures and see what they think. So maybe there's a different, power steering pump. This is a standard Saginaw pump. They use this literally hundreds of millions of cars and trucks and RVs and everything. They've used it all over the place. So it's weird that this pump would be, the issue, if it is, even if it is the issue. And the other thing is that belt and how it's going to work on this. Like this alternator needs to be another half inch closer. I mean, if this is as far back as this goes, which it's kind of hard to tell perspective with this in the way, but if this is as far back as it goes, as power steering pump pulleys go, which I think he can go back further, he has room. I would need the belt, or actually what I can do is I can swap this alternator over and I can use the outside rib on this alternator, or the outside V, and on this side I can use the correct alternator and use the regular inside. So that's fine. That's not a huge deal. Not a huge deal. What I don't understand is this hook. I don't think he's supposed to hook underneath. I don't understand this piece, what he's for. If he's supposed to go somewhere else. It doesn't say anything in the instructions and it doesn't show anything. different. It just shows them kind of on the outside of the alternator. So this is the part that I don't understand. I don't know. So, and here's the other thing. If they do design one that works with this, it'll work with everything else. It'll work with those who don't have a power steering pump. It'll work with those who have an electric power steering pump. It'll work with those who have, small block Chevys. And then big blocks are different. They have different heads and different mounting points, but it would work with so much other stuff. You wouldn't have any sort of issues with this stuff. You could you could do it with kind of anything. Um, and I know I can't be the only one who has this. So we'll get this addressed. I'm glad we got the bolts correct. That was a little scary, but as predicted, one more thing where this car just fights me, man. It fights me. It fights me. So we'll contact these guys tomorrow. And yeah, I guess I'll give Speedway a call, and then Speedway is going to tell me to call Bill's. So we'll take care of this. We'll clean up the trash quick. Put our thread checker away. He goes in, tap and die. We'll put these guys away because we don't really need them. 5/16 and our 1/4 inch. Wait, that one. Oh, 11/32. Sorry, Mr. 11/32. I didn't mean to shun you. And we'll keep all of our thread protectors, but get rid of all of our tape. Keep our other stuff too. We'll get this bolt. Oh yeah, and here's our spacer that we can't use. Get this bolt back in with the ICT stuff. And there we go. Fairly cleaned up. I will take a look. Oh, 11 o'clock. I will take a look at the other alternator belts and find a triple belt pulley and probably a crank pulley that's triple, so we can run. Well, yeah, I'll have clearance through here. Yeah. I really just need it off of this because this alternator will also run off the crank. Yeah, that'll be fine. This one can just be alternator. It doesn't have to go to anything else. It's not required. RPMs will be the same. All of that will be the same. Okay. So, sorry, folks. I was hoping for multiple successes tonight, but it's raining outside. It's cold. The shop still smells like paint, like TBL. It's pretty rough. I've had that fan going in here all day, and I had the door open for a little while this afternoon. So we'll keep going. I'm probably going to do some wiring tonight just to get ahead of the game a little bit. And I can't take you guys underneath the deck back there. It's kind of a tight setup. So basically all I'm doing is running that wire. Just running it, that larger cable, from the battery all the way in the back up to where the air compressors and air tank and solenoids are for the air ride system. That's all I'm really going to be doing. And I just have we have this thing called a bus bar. I'll show you guys what it is. So there's a couple different versions of a bus bar, and this is a nice little package you can get on Amazon. So, oh crap. I'll have to get that screw in a minute. That's one of the mounting screws for this. So this is your cover, goes on. That's where your main bolts into, main power. And then you have all these smaller terminals that you can hook power up to. So you have one big cable that comes in, and then you can run a whole bunch of smaller cables, smaller power wires off of that. And you have a positive and a negative. There's a negative one in here too. But with most, and I guess for cleanliness, you can do it. Most things you want to run the shortest ground possible. So you don't want to like run it from one end of the battery all the way back to the battery. You don't want to do that whole strip. You can use the chassis of the car as a ground. So you would do this guy, the negative version, the black version that's in here. You would do that next to this or near it so that all of your grounds go to one spot. And then there you would have a big ground cable that goes right to your chassis. You wouldn't have to go all the way back to the battery. You want the shortest ground possible, shortest. This also makes it very easy to diagnose stuff and to replace stuff. Um, you don't have to reroute wires and unhook this because the wire's over that one or unplug stuff. It's usually all within one little area. Now I got to find that little mount screw that went somewhere down here. Where'd you go, buddy? You did not fall in the radiator tray, I don't think. I don't see him down there. I didn't hear him hit the concrete, so. Oh God, looking in here. I don't see him down there. Oh, got him. All the way. Well, he's going to be easier to get. Right here. All right. There we go. Just need to remember he's in there. And these are nice kits. They come with little silicone covers for your mains. So you slide your cable through here, slide it back a little bit, connect everything, and then push this, and this covers it. And they have a positive and a negative for that. Just makes for a nice, clean setup. It looks really nice, and it's very protected. And then the other thing we got was our alternator power wire. And that's basically the exact same thing you have here. And this is a little heavier gauge. This is actually a really nice one. I should probably get another one of these and use it on this. But this will go on this alternator. It plugs in right here, and power, etc. That's how that works. This one comes back to this battery, and it's our main charge input on that battery. Same thing here, but it's going to go to the battery that goes right here, and then that battery is going to be powering everything all the way back. So we got to get a new battery too. Although I do have, I don't have another Group 34. I thought I had another Group 34 there, but I do not. So we can't use, I just have that little NiCad or the LiPo battery from Noco, which I can't really use in this car. So that's where we're at. We have the alternator in there. Like I said, I'm probably going to use probably swap alternators. I'll use the nicer one, the single belt one on that side, and the dual belt one on this side, just so I have that space. These are 120 amp alternators, so we should be okay with power. And I was looking at inverters last night for the hot tub because the inverter that we have is only 250 watts, which is barely going to power like the LED lights in the stereo. So we'll have a huge 4,000 watt power inverter backed by the hot tub controls, the hot tub battery. And that's going to give us our AC power. Uh, Hot tub is 1850 watts, and this is a little more than twice that. So it should be within its duty cycle. And you can run the hot tub pretty much the whole time. And we only have one thing plugged into it, which is going to be really important. Uh, that's it. So yeah, another few $1,000s, and we'll have all the parts we need for this. Like I said, the battery's like 250 bucks. We need another one, so that's 500. The inverter's like 500 bucks, and plumbing and wiring, and then we're pretty much ready to go. I do want to get. I did buy, like I said, I got grills, but I do want to get more powerful fans. These fans work okay, but I'd like to get something that pushes a lot more air. And these guys cover. They're kind of the good size. They just need to be. They need to move more air. They need to be more efficient. And I think with opening the grill up and putting an OEM grill in here instead of these big steel tubes, these steel tubes block so much air, especially when you're driving. This car gets up to 215 real quick, even in the cold. So having the regular grill in there is really going to help with airflow. That's going to be a huge, huge, huge thing. And then I haven't decided what to do on the ends here yet. I'll figure that out. I found a whole bunch of really cool grill material in really cool shapes, like little coffins and then hexagonal stuff and all this other cool shapes. So we'll see what we can do with this front grill. And I might just stack it with LEDs. If I can find an LED light, I might just do vertical LED lights all the way across. You know, if I can find, what is it, 16 inches? Forgot how tall these are. Yeah, just under 16. 15 and 7/8. So if I can find 15-inch light bars, you know, really skinny ones, just do like 6 or 8 of them across there. That would look kind of cool too. Just so we have some kind of light. There's really no light on this. So we can't drive it at night or anything. So that's where we're at. We're a few $1,000s away from this being done, and probably another 50 hours of work on it to be done. And again, I'm doing this all by myself. You don't see anyone else here, right? So otherwise we'd have a camera up and a boom guy and, you know, all this, and we don't. So just me getting it done piece by piece. And this is also why project cars take so long. You know, you're trying to stay in budget. You're trying to use the best equipment and gear possible. Then you get stuck on stuff like this. The problem with this car is everything is like this. Literally everything. The engine mounts were like this. Yeah, it's been very difficult this entire time, but we don't let that get us down. We keep going, keep trucking along, and it'll all come together. This thing runs and drives great. I'm very happy with it. We're still in the learning phase and still on break-in oil with the engine. So we're not doing anything crazy with it yet. The car will do a burnout. It has line lock on it. So it's worth it in my book. It'd be crazy to have that hot tub running with people in it and doing a huge burnout at the same time. That'll be pretty nuts. That's the plan. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. We'll keep going on this. If I can, I'll get some light under the car and we'll do some wiring tomorrow, see if we can clean up some of that. Like I said, a lot of that has been temporary wiring. And I'd like to get the switch for the air compressors moved up to the front of the car. I might actually do that one tonight just because it's really easy just swapping those cables, because it's a pain in the ass to go to the trunk and open the trunk every time to turn the switch on and off. Be easier just to have the switch right behind the seat or wherever just to get it going. So I'll probably move that switch tonight, get some other stuff done. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. Like I said, we'll get you more on the limo, and I guess we're kind of, I gotta take some pictures for those guys, so I'll use a different light. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll do more tomorrow night, and definitely subscribe if you have any more questions or suggestions or comments or anything, definitely put them down there. I will read them. Read everything. I see all you guys' likes and all of you guys' thumbs ups. I really appreciate it. We're gonna keep going. Got it. Like I said, we've got a bunch of different cars coming in here. So we'll have the MR6 in here for race prep because we've got a race coming up in April, and we've got the Viper will come back up for an oil change and a bunch of maintenance. We've got the Miata that also needs an oil change, and we're going to try and get the Miata. We're going to do a different alignment on the Miata. We're going to do a much more aggressive alignment on the Miata, and I'll probably get the SRT4 in here once it warms up a little bit. I would like to get that thing off the lift and do some laps around the neighborhood just to get bearings greased and that sort of thing. I need to do an oil change on that car too. So we'll be doing a lot of maintenance stuff on a lot of really cool cars. And hopefully the guys bring up other cool cars too, so we can do, Mustangs and Mini Coopers and stuff like that. So subscribe to that and we'll to the channel, and we'll get all that stuff out for you guys. So thanks for hanging out. And don't forget, show someone that you love them today, okay? It's really important. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand, give it a squeeze. It's really, really important. And it goes way further than you could ever imagine. Okay? All right. Thanks, everyone. I will see you tomorrow night. Have fun.